Tonight on News 6, a new mural is coming to downtown Conway.
UCA's new parking lot deadline is delayed.
The Salvation Army is ready to start its fundraising.
And a new Veteran Service office is opening here in Conway.
All this and more in News 6 starts right now. Good evening, I'm Catherine Thornberry.
And I'm Jason Gregory.
Before we get into tonight's news, let's take a look at the weather with Austin Wader. Austin.
Thank you, Catherine. So looking at our headlines, we're going to have a windy week ahead here as we approach the weekend coming up. The rain enter into the forecast on Thursday as well. So like we talked about earlier this week, we'll have some rain, and that's going to lead to a temperature drop that we're going to see on Friday. But the good news with that rain is going to be gone before the weekend and make UCA's final home game of the weekend of the season clear skies. So everyone come out if you can. That's it for your headlines. I'll be back with a full forecast later on in the show. Back to y'all at the desk.
The new parking lot deadline at UCA has been extended for a second time. The parking lot that is replacing Shorten Denny Hall was originally set to be finished in August. The deadline was moved to mid-October and is now set to be finished in November. Vice President of Facilities Kevin Carter says that the soil testing indicated that additional undercut and fill were necessary to meet the required soil compaction rates. Cut and fill is where poor soil is removed and better soil is brought in so that it can be compacted. Carter then said that this, along with a few rainy days, has pushed the schedule back and that the parking lot should be completed within the next few weeks.
Daylight saving time came to an end this past Sunday. News 6 reporter Haley Tate asked students how they feel about the extra hour that's being added to their schedule and how it affects them.
It's definitely made me want to go to bed earlier than normal because by the time it gets dark, it feels like it's later than it usually is. So it's making me feel like I need to go to bed around 7 when I usually go to bed around 11 or 12.
It really had, especially the first night I came back from a trip, and it didn't feel like anything for me. I woke up late on Sunday morning.
An additional mural is being added to downtown Conway. Local artist Jessica Jones is bringing a new color palette near City Hall. Jones is intrigued with the idea of pollinators.
Inspired by all the pollinators that work at night. We have lots of ones that work during the day, but people don't think about things like moths and fireflies and bats that pollinate at night.
Jones has painted 30 murals around Conway and said the town gave her start, with vibrant colors right outside of City Hall. Jones predicts that the project will take around a month to complete. She said she wants it to be a reflection of a healthy community.
4 international students from UCA were invited on a trip to Silver Dollar City last Saturday. News 6 reporter Rodney Rogers spoke with 2 of the students that went.
I'm an exchange student, so I just stay here for 1 semester. I want to touch more American culture and touch more people.
Because I think it's interesting, and my friend tell me it's like classic American Christmas.
For me, both the rides and the foods are very good. Yeah, and
delicious.
Yes, it's delicious, and the Christmas lights are so pretty.
Yeah,
We really enjoyed to hiking at the cave.
UCA has become the first university in the state to receive the Gear Up grant. The Gear Up grant comes with $30 million in funding. The U.S. Department of Education created this grant for undergraduate programs specifically and aims to increase enrollment in post-secondary education by providing resources to students and their families. The program hopes to increase the number of students who feel prepared for college, specifically those from low-income backgrounds. UCA will utilize the funding over the course of the next 7 years.
When we come back from the break, we'll have more news from UCA, Conway, and Faulkner County. Don't go anywhere. News 6 will be right back.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. maybe you are fine. But if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
I am blind, but
What do
I
you think?
need not see. I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free.
As the holiday season approaches, the Salvation Army gets ready to start up its fundraising programs. This Monday, Faulkner County Salvation Army launched the Angel Tree Project and the Red Kettle campaign at Superior Chevrolet. The Angel Tree program provides Christmas gifts for less fortunate families that register. Just under 200 children are registered for the Angel Tree program in Faulkner County this year. The registration list can be found at Superior Automotive Group's 3 Conway locations and the Salvation Army store on Hawkrider Street. The Red Kettle campaign has also kicked off for the holiday season with 2 stands already set up in Conway. The Hobby Lobby off of Oak and the Belk and the Conway Commons Shopping Center have ringers at their doors, and another will be set up at Sam's Club on November 18th. The Salvation Army's goal for the Red Kettle campaign is to raise $250,000 in the Central Arkansas area. These stands will be set up until December 23rd.
The Arkansas Department of Health is partnering with the Arkansas Food Bank to create oral health kits for those who are less fortunate. Arkansas ranks last in dental health and dental care, with adults struggling and being able to go to the dentist. The Arkansas Food Bank sees correlations in how dental health and food insecurity are 2 issues that Arkansans struggle with. These oral health kits will include toothbrushes, toothpaste, and floss.
The public now has a chance to attend a premiere viewing of PBS's new show, Mystery League. Arkansas PBS is hosting this free event to give a sneak peek of its brand new show that will be debuting November 19th. Mystery League is a show about a group of 5th graders who come together to solve mysteries in the fictional town of Mulberry Springs, Arkansas. At this screening, 2 episodes will be shown. Children will be able to learn the dances that go along with the show, receive snacks, and have their own mystery bag. The screening is being held at the Wingate Center on November 11th from 3 to 4:30 in the afternoon.
UCA will host artist Allison Dumby as an artist in residence November 16th through the 17th. Dumby is the CEO of Dumby Design, a multimedia design company based in New Orleans. The team works with various media forms such as glass blowing, woodwork, costume design, and metalworking. Dumby will hold an art display and reception, open to the public in the Wingate Center lobby area, on Friday, November 17th from 5:30 to 7:30 in the evening. Dumby will hold a student presentation on November 17th in the Wingate Center Room, 167, from 2 to 2:50 in the afternoon.
The International Studies Club will host an event to learn about cultural experiences with Professor Kayadale Oakley. She is an associate professor of the language department here at UCA. She has traveled to more than 24 countries and has also lived overseas. And here's what she has to say about this event.
Okay, so on Thursday, tomorrow, during X period, I'm going to be talking a little bit for the students of the International Studies Association at the invitation of their president, my student Ty, who is a French and Spanish student. And they asked me to talk about some of my life experiences and some of my travels and kind of just my course of lived experience in transnational and multilingual Creole studies.
UCA's International Studies Club objective is to have a clear understanding of problems and work the international society. To get in touch with the International Studies Club, contact Gizachu Tirune. The event will take place Thursday, November 9th from 1:40 to 2:30 in the evening in Irby Hall, room 212.
Diversity and Community will host an event with the purpose to learn how to budget and help build your credit, partnering with guests from Regions Bank. The objective of Diversity and Community is to obtain acceptance, no matter the ethnicity or race. The Office of Diversity and Community is located in Bernard Hall, room 207. The guests from Regions Bank will talk to UCA students about banking. This event will be held Thursday, November 9th from 6 to 7:30 in the evening at Ronnie Williams Student Center, room 223 and 224.
University of Arkansas Medical School will have a free brain injury program over Zoom. The virtual workshop is free to everyone. The workshop will tell you about free resources, digital health clinics, support groups, and a free 24/7 TBI nurse triage call line. The keynote speaker, Tricia Jenkins, will inform you about the intersection of TBI and substance use disorder. The event will be held on November 16th at 2 in the afternoon. To register for the Zoom link, call 501-526-7656, or you can visit their Eventbrite page.
After the break, we'll go to Austin Wader for a closer look at the weather to be expected for the rest of this week. Don't go anywhere. News 6 will be right back.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Today, tens of millions of refugees have been forced from their homes. But you can make a difference. Act now. Even small amounts make a big difference. Visit supportcrisisrelief.org.
Welcome back to News 6. I'm Austin Wader. Let's take a look at what's going on weather-wise across the country today. And the first spot we're going to start with, as we usually do, will be up here in the northwest, where there's going to be some small patches of mixed precipitation that are going to be seen in the upper portions of Washington. We are going to see some spots of patches of snow around Idaho and Montana area. And we'll see another patch of mixed precipitation come through Colorado and even into some of the parts of Nebraska. But that main patch that we talked about on Monday over here in the east, as we're going to see parts of New York, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Vermont, and all of them are going to have freezing rain possible along with that mixed precipitation. But you're going to see below it here, we're going to have some rain enter in from Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, and even other parts of Pennsylvania too. And now, as we pull up our 3-day map, you're going to see this rain here is going to work its way down all the way to lower portions of Texas and work its way from Texas all the way up to parts of New Jersey even. So that's a long patch of rain that's coming through, and the rain that we talked about on Monday that would be coming through the state of Arkansas. As for that mixed precipitation in the east, it's going to stay up there around Michigan, Wisconsin, and other parts of Pennsylvania, New York, and Vermont. It'll still be there, but it'll just be mainly mixed precipitation, no real rain threats there. And over here in the northwest, more mixed precipitation coming into the air around Idaho, Washington, and Oregon. And instead of a bunch of patches of snow, just one main patch here in between West Virginia and Montana. Now, let's take a look at what's going on a little bit closer to home. So for tonight's weather, 59 degrees, should be clear skies. That's the good news there. Some winds are going to pick up a little bit in north-northeast, around 10 to 15 miles per hour. And again, that sunset keeps on going lower due to daylight savings time at around 5:09 p.m. Tomorrow, you're going to need a rain jacket. Not going to lie, we're going to have rain throughout most of the day. Tomorrow, 62 degrees, and that wind's going to be whipping once again around north-northeast, 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that sunset's right around that same time at 5:08 p.m. And now as we pull up our 7-day map, you're going to notice, like we talked about with that rain entering the end of the forecast Thursday and Friday, that's going to lead to a temperature drop as we were in the 80s today, but in the 60s really for the next week. But you look at it mainly between Friday and Saturday, that rain should be gone. So for Saturday, when UCA football hosts their final game of the regular season at home, clear sky, 62 degrees. Temperatures will stay in the 60s throughout the rest of the week. We're going to have some lows in the 40s and even in the upper 40s. And it should be sunny to start next week as well, with some cloudy weather coming through next Wednesday. And that's it for your weather. And like I mentioned with UCA football, we're going to have some sports to talk about when we come back from the break. We have a high school playoff preview. We're going to preview UCA football's final home game of the season. And UCA men's and women's basketball teams both got their season started on Monday night. How they do? I'll tell you all about it when News 6 returns.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is him. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that he's a good person. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, it starts to work itself out.
Welcome back to News 6. We're now going to catch you up on the latest in sports all across Faulkner County. And we're going to start with some high school football as it is officially playoff time here in the state of Arkansas. And one of the teams that was able to make the postseason was the Mayflower Eagles. After defeating the Little Rock Hall Warriors 23-13 on Friday, the Eagles then had to wait and see if the Central Arkansas Christian Mustangs would defeat the Lamar Warriors, and that would ultimately determine their playoff fate. Fortunately for the Eagles, the Mustangs got the win 53-0 and set the official matchup for the Eagles against the Bald Knob Bulldogs this Friday, November 10th. Eagles head football coach Austin Emerson sat down with News 6 and talked about how his team feels entering postseason play.
I mean, we feel good. This whole team, they have, like, every week this year, there hasn't been a week where we've had like maybe one bad week of practice, but it was a team that we beat, that we felt like we should beat. But everyone else, like we've known, has been good teams, so we've had to prepare well and had to be ready to go. So going into the playoffs, we know there's not a bad team in the playoffs. Everybody's good, or they wouldn't be where they're at. So our kids were pumped. They were pumped yesterday. The weather was nice. They were full of energy, getting after the practice, and I expect the same thing today.
We appreciate Coach Emerson taking that time out of his busy schedule to talk with us about his playoff matchup. Kickoff for this postseason game is set for 7 in the evening at Patrick Stadium in Mayflower, Arkansas. Now on to the college ranks in football, where the 24th ranked UCA Bear football team plays their final home game of the season against the Eastern Kentucky Colonels this Saturday, November 11th. This matchup for the Bears is a huge one, as full control of second place in the UAC will be on the line. With a win on Saturday, the Bears would ultimately set up a de facto conference championship on the road next Saturday against Austin Peay. But the Bears have to handle business this week at first. Much like last week, the defense for the Bears' opponent will be the ultimate key. The Colonels are giving up an average of 34 points per game, and hopefully the Bears can capitalize on the offensive end. Kickoff is set for 4 in the afternoon and will be available for streaming on ESPN+. But if you can, final home game of the year, see if you can get out to the game. And now we're going to switch up into basketball as the UCA Sugar Bears open the Tony Kemper era with an 85-25 win over the Hendrix College Warriors. Defense was the catalyst for the Sugar Bears win as they held the Warriors to 17% shooting and forced 27 turnovers. The leading scores for the Sugar Bears were juniors Jade Upshaw and Rondrea Wright, who both finished with 14 points. After a great season opener, the Sugar Bears will head on the road to Homewood, Alabama to take on the Sanford Bulldogs on Saturday, November 11th. Tip-off is set for 2 in the afternoon. And staying on basketball, the UCA Bears dropped their season opener against the Tulsa Golden Hurricane 70-53. Throughout the game, both teams were very competitive, but the difference came in rebounding. The Hurricane won the rebounding battle 51-31, and 20 of those rebounds came on the offensive side of the ball, which led to 25 second chance points for the Hurricane. The Bears also had only 2 double-digit scorers in the game, freshman Carl Daughtery Jr. and sophomore Elias Cato, who both finished the game with 19 points. The Bears will now get ready for their home opener against the Hendrix College Warriors, set for Friday, November 10th at 6:30 in the evening. And lastly, UCA Bears soccer unfortunately had their season come to an end on Monday night as they were defeated by the Lipscomb Bisons 4-0. The game started out strong for the Bears as they were able to get a couple of shots on goal early on, yet the Bears could not get on the board. Trailing only 1-0 at halftime, the Bears looked to come out and make adjustments to keep their season alive, but it was the Lipscomb Bisons who dominated the second half, adding 3 more goals to close the game out. This loss puts the Bears' overall record at 4 wins, 9 losses, and 4 draws on the season, and that ultimately concludes the soccer season here at UCA. While this is a disappointing ending, the Bears know that 3 straight trips to the ASUN Conference semifinals show that it is consistently one of the top teams in the ASUN Conference. And that's all I have for your sports. After this break, we will catch you up with the rest of the news.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
By the time you see the symptoms of lung cancer, it could be too late. Now there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early. If you smoked, get scanned.
Faulkner County is opening a new Veterans Service office in Conway, as they have been looking to move locations. This Tuesday will be the grand opening of the Faulkner County Veterans Service office. They will move down the street from 801 Locust Street to 714 Locust Street. The Veterans Service office is where veterans and their families process claims with the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. The red ribbon cutting event will begin at 10 in the morning.
The new director of Conway Animal Welfare, David Mitchell, looks to build on the foundation of the previous director, Shona Osborne. Mitchell has been working for the unit for 12 years before being offered the position. Mitchell said the goal stays the same, to make sure that all the animals at the unit are well cared for. Mitchell also says that the mission of the Animal Welfare Unit is to care for not only the animals of the unit, but to prioritize the citizens of Conway. Mitchell looks to engage the community by offering volunteer opportunities. Mitchell's excited to see where this unit takes off.
The movie based on the hit video game Five Nights at Freddy's made its debut on October 27th. The game series, popularized in the 2010s, gained a mass following. These people who enjoyed the games are now college-aged and have shared their opinions on the new release.
One word I would use to describe the Five Nights at Freddy's movie would be missed potential. It has what it wants for fans. It has the characters you love. It has the lore that a lot of fans love to dig into. But I find that from a movie perspective, it just lacks everything that a good movie needs.
Okay, so I watched it with my friends over the weekend at my friend's house, and it was actually really good. Like it did get a lot of negative reviews on it when I looked it up and like Googled it or IMDb, but I really enjoyed it. My favorite character was Bonnie.
The movie did some things a lot better than I expected it to, and then it did other things that I thought it would do just fine, like really weirdly and bad. I don't know, like 4 out of 10, I guess.
On the topic of new movies, the Student Activities Board is giving away free tickets to the new The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The movie will show on November 17th at the Cinemark in Conway. SAB will give out tickets in the Student Center, room 206, on November 13th at 10 in the morning and 4:30 in the afternoon. Tickets are limited to 2 per person, and faculty and staff can pick up tickets on November 15th if tickets remain.
With it being the last home UCA football game, do you plan on attending, Jason?
Yes, I do. UCA has had an awesome season, as Austin told us, so I definitely don't want to miss this game.
I agree. I plan on being there, especially with it being my senior year. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
That's a look at your news for today. If you missed any stories or want to get more details, visit us online at ucanews.live.
If you have any questions, comments, or story ideas, you can email us at ucanews6@gmail.com.
Also, you can keep up with us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. I'm Catherine Thornberry.
And I'm Jason Gregory. For Austin Wader and all of us at News 6, thank you for watching and good night.